We're going to talk about narcissism today and what happens when a narcissist knows they've lost. As you figure out the puzzle, you'll get a glimpse into the mind of someone who always sees themselves as the center of everything. Narcissists get a big wake-up call when they understand they've lost. It's not just about ending a relationship or having a small loss, it's a deep awakening. They start to see how their actions have affected other people and realize for the first time how their selfish actions have messed up many people's lives. When they have a moment of insight, they may feel overwhelmed by how much chaos they've caused. Narcissists are very good at playing with other people's emotions, and they often hurt others without realizing it. They change the truth to fit their story, hurt people in relationships to get what they want, and leave a path of mental damage in their wake. At first, their actions may be subtle and go ignored, but as time goes on, it becomes clear that they are trying to trick you. As these trends become clear, it becomes clear how bad the narcissist's actions are for both them and the people they hurt. Narcissists get a sharp reality check when they're at their worst. They lose their sense of being better than everyone else and have to deal with the results of their deeds. They see the chaos they made and feel bad about hurting people and lying to them. Being taught this hard lesson shows that a life based on lies and trickery ends up being empty. For people who have been with a narcissist, it's hard to get better. It takes a lot of strength and courage to face up to painful feelings. But with time and work, it is possible to get back in charge and find out who you are again. You might wonder if you should forgive a narcissist while you are getting better. Yes, you can forget, but first you need to do a lot of work. It's important to break free from the trauma link, rebuild your social network, and maybe even start over. It's like expecting to see horses on the street if you forgive a narcissist. When these people enter your life, they drag you into a dark place and wreck your emotions. You would have stayed away from them if you had known what kind of people they were from the start. Narcissists love confusion and cause a lot of damage when they leave. The trouble they make by going from person to person is something they are aware of, but they have to deal with it in the end. It's kind of nice to see them deal with the consequences of what they did. It's hard to stay cheerful though, while you're still caught up in their tricks. Narcissists are selfish by nature, so you might hope they'll admit they were wrong and let you move on. It's hard to end a relationship with a narcissist because they don't just move on. They wait around until the right time to do something bad to you. They always have their eyes open for the next person to kill. They may remember the good times now and then, but it's just a way to keep you close. You're just a prize for them to use to boost their ego. It can be very hard to get a divorce from a narcissist. They know how valuable you are and will fight to keep you because they see you as an important source of praise and attention. They might take a long time to get a divorce so they can keep power over you. It's hard to deal with a narcissist. Often, you won't even be aware that they are draining your energy and taking up your time. Narcissists are very aware of what they're losing when you break up with them. They know what makes you special, even if they never told you during the relationship. They always thought about other choices and were always weighing their options. Always there for them, through good times and bad. You were their friend. They saw a chance to take advantage of your kindness when you showed them love and support. They never really cared about how you felt or how much you helped them. You were nothing more than a tool they used to get what they wanted. Nasty people may try to get back together with you when things are tough in the relationship. This is how they pull you back into their chaotic world. It's called hovering. They might miss the things you gave them, like your constant attention, emotional support, or cash help. You gave them a boost and made them feel important. Don't let their comeback fool you. It's not out of love or feeling bad about what they did, it's just another way for them to get back in charge. They'll use every trick in the book to get you back under their control. Narcissists never take credit for what they do. It's very unlikely. They may know what they've lost, but they really don't like to admit when they're wrong. From their skewed point of view, it's always someone else's fault, never them. Remember, did they ever really say sorry? Did it feel real, even if they did? They may say they will change and ask for another chance, but what they say doesn't always mean what they say. The other person took everything you gave them without giving anything back. Think back to how it all began. the intense love, the undeniable spark. But over time, that first spark went away, leaving you confused. Did they stop being interested? Find someone else? It's hard to say, but if it seemed too good to be true at first, it probably wasn't. Once they had you interested, they started to trick you. They knew just what to say to get you to give in, and you did. You were always hoping to hear from them, but over time, their texts stopped coming as often and seemed less real. They were busy with someone else while they left you hanging. Why? They'd already found someone else to attack. They can't get out of this loop until someone does or until they move on. They'll understand what they've lost in time. Everyone around them loses relationships because of their bad behavior. People figure out what they're doing and stop including them. It's likely that those longtime friends are just being used. As time goes on, their true character becomes clear. It's just how they work. They don't think twice about ruining relationships. Why don't some people see through what a narcissist is doing? It makes no sense. Some people may know the truth, but they don't say anything because they don't want to be the next target. Some people may not spend enough time with the narcissist to get to know the real person behind the act. It's really that easy. A lot of the trouble takes place behind closed doors, where no one can see it. That's when the ego stops being nice and turns into a real nightmare. In public, they act nice and helpful because they want to keep up their perfect image. But behind closed doors, they use you as a financial, mental, and spiritual punching bag. They're too focused on themselves to accept that they've lost you. They found someone truly wonderful in you but didn't care about you. They were too busy with their own things to see how valuable you were. That being said, you're stronger and more robust now that this is over. You got back up and are now shining even brighter than before. You are stronger and more determined now than you were before this hard time. You have shown yourself and others how strong you can be. The narcissist, on the other hand, stays stuck in their own loop, making other people's lives worse while you do well. They're too caught up in their bad habits to see what they've lost, but one day they will have a moment of clarity and realize how bad their mistakes were. It will become clear to them that they missed an amazing person. Remember how great you are all the time and keep your head up. You've got this, and you're not alone on this road. Stay true to who you are and what you believe in. That you get better and heal, and have a wonderful future ahead of you. As we delve into the psyche of a narcissist, one recurring notion persists relentlessly. Understanding the intricate layers of those labeled as narcissists reveals a tapestry of imperfections woven into their personalities. At the epicenter of their complexity lies a singular fixation on you. A fixation that binds them irrevocably. This mental orbit often revolves around fallacious beliefs, illuminating the distorted lens through which narcissists perceive reality. Stay tuned for our upcoming segment, where we delve deeper into this enigmatic subject. Welcome back, everyone, to our program. Today, we embark on a journey through the recurring thought patterns of narcissists, particularly post-relationship, as depicted in the film we're about to witness. This persistent thought exerts significant influence over their skewed and fantastical worldview, shaping their perception of you, their interpersonal connections, and their comprehension of emotions. It stands as the cornerstone of their cognitive landscape, and I'm poised to unravel its complexities within the cinematic narrative. As many of you may already know, it's important to understand that narcissists think and act in very different ways than the rest of us. Their cognitive errors keep them off track and give them a skewed view of reality. They often have trouble putting their thoughts into words, and when they do, it comes across as confusing and vague. Narcissists have a lot of false ideas about themselves that come from parts of their ego that aren't working well. They do everything they can to hide their weaknesses because they are afraid that showing feeling will make them easy for others to take advantage of. Narcissists don't like being open and honest about their feelings because they think that doing so will make them lose control. While most people want to be respected and understood in relationships, narcissists see themselves as superior to those around them and treat others badly. Because of this attitude, they see relationships as transactions in which people talk about what the other person can do for them. For narcissists, getting praise and approval is a key source of strength and control that makes them feel like they deserve more. People are put into groups by the narcissist based on the supply they give, which means how much value they think the narcissist gets from them. Personalities like sensitivity, understanding, kindness, and patience are very valuable to narcissists because they meet many of their needs and are their main sources of reinforcement. The narcissist's manipulation skills are fueled by this constant flow of praise and kindness, which helps them keep up their false sense of control through dishonest means. Narcissistic relationships are based on the idea that people don't like being vulnerable. When narcissists hide how they really feel, they protect themselves from being used or manipulated. Sincere emotional expression builds trust and closeness in all kinds of relationships, from friendships to love partnerships to family ties. Narcissists, on the other hand, avoid being real because they want to protect themselves. They keep up a front of being strong and unbreakable to keep up the illusion that they are in charge of other people. The narcissist sees vulnerability in a different way. They see it as a weakness that others could use against them. They are afraid of showing their feelings because they think it will make them easy to manipulate, which is similar to how they tend to take advantage of others. So, they take a defensive stance and carefully manage their surroundings to avoid showing signs of weakness or fragility. This behavior comes from having a skewed view of oneself because of a broken ego from childhood. When people talk about narcissism, they often talk about how narcissists change from a young age. A lot of the time, these people have trouble accepting themselves as they are, and they may face rejection from parents or other important people in their lives, which makes them feel alone. To fill this emotional void, they create a different personality or persona that fits with what society expects of them. This is a way for them to stay alive. By following what they think are social norms, this adaptation helps them get the respect and praise they want. As a way to make yourself more likable and lower your risk of being rejected, this adaptation may show up as copying the behaviors, hobbies, or attitudes of friends, romantic partners, or peers. This kind of behavior shows how much the narcissist needs others to be patient, understanding, kind, and empathetic. The narcissist takes on different identities to try to feel stable about who they are, even if it means relying on outside approval. But this consistency is still hard to find. Narcissists have serious problems with their sense of self, which are made worse by a deep-seated fear of being open and vulnerable. They walk a dangerous tightrope, switching between different parts of their personality depending on the situation and the people involved. This is because they have complex personality disorders, dysfunctional attachment patterns, and ongoing attachment problems. Their actions can become very strange and shocking, especially when their deepest fears come true, like when they feel alone and abandoned. People who are at first seen as friendly and outgoing may quickly turn into angry and hostile individuals, leaving their partners confused and questioning the truth of their former image. Narcissists act in such a crazy way because they are constantly wanting to be in charge and be admired, which makes them try to change things to benefit themselves. When narcissists are with respected people who can understand, be patient, and be kind, it may temporarily make their constant fight easier. But this break doesn't last long. Over time, the narcissist gets used to the way the relationship works, knowing that their partner will always love and support them. But when they get bored, they look for something new, often by making big changes to how they act or making new friends to keep up their act of being charming and likable. Narcissists think that once they have a relationship, especially one that will last, they don't have to put in as much work to keep it going. This belief that they will always have their partner reinforces their attachment problems because they think their partner will always be in their circle, which makes manipulative behaviors like giving their partner the silent treatment okay. This behavior serves two purposes. It shows that they are in charge while also hiding who they really are from others. Because of bad things that happen to them as kids, narcissists often deal with a lot of bad things. They think that showing their weak spots would break down their carefully built facade, which is not true. Because of this, they create different characters to hide how fragile they really are, which keeps them from being themselves. Narcissists are very good at hiding their wounds and triggers by fitting in with different groups of people and places, which is very different from most people who stay true to themselves. But their tendency to change shapes is a strong psychological block that keeps them from accepting and showing who they really are. They are stuck in a loop of entitlement and think, wrongly, that just being in a relationship makes the other person loyal forever, so they don't have to do anything else to strengthen the bond. Their main problem is that they can't make good connections with other people. Narcissists often cause problems in their relationships by holding grudges and saying hurtful things behind closed doors. They have a hard time making real bonds with others, including partners, friends, and family. Sadly, the feeling of safety in the relationship doesn't translate into respecting the wants of the other person. When narcissists think about what they want, they often don't think about or care about what their partners want or need. They see them as tools for their own gain. Because they can't make real connections with themselves, they can't build lasting relationships. Instead, they have shallow interactions that don't last or go deep. These weak ties are flawed from the start because they are based on a need for control instead of real emotional closeness. When narcissists are in a relationship, they only want to meet their own needs and don't care about the other person's needs. They don't want to grow or understand each other. This uneven relationship isn't caused by bad intentions. It's because they don't understand what true exchange means in relationships, and their focus on themselves takes precedence over the needs of others. Narcissists feel strong emotions, often stronger than the average person. These emotions can be very bad. But because they can't control these feelings and get the help they need, they act in unhealthy ways, giving the impression that they have multiple identities that are controlled by their ego and inner stories. Because they can't control their feelings in a healthy way, they depend on others a lot for the mental support they can't give themselves. This dependence shows up as a constant need for the energy and mental support of the people around them, making you an important source of power in their lives. The constant need for your emotional support can be very tiring, since you are always expected to comfort and reassure them. Narcissists have a lot of relationships because they need praise and validation from many people, like close friends, ex-partners, and anyone else they think will give it to them. They constantly look for comfort, often from more than one source, because they can't get enough of it. But giving this kind of care all the time can be tiring, and it takes constant work to make people feel safe and comforted. Narcissists, on the other hand, think they deserve this level of loyalty because they don't understand the depth of connection and reciprocity that are needed in real relationships. There is a basic lack of true emotional connection with narcissists, which leads to the inherent uncertainty and instability in relationships with them. At first, narcissists are very good at showing that they are exactly what their partner wants and expects, making it look like they are a great match. But once they feel safe in the relationship, they lose interest. As the thrill of pursuing fades, they look for new experiences and thrills elsewhere, which weakens the relationship in the long run. Narcissists put people in their lives into groups based on what they do for them. The main source is a steady source of ego fuel, giving a steady flow of approval and energy. Secondary sources, on the other hand, include friendships or short-term connections that give the narcissist short-term boosts to their ego or energy, in addition to what they get from their main source. No matter how good or bad the relationships are, they serve the narcissist's purpose as long as they make them feel important and noticed. When dealing with a narcissist, a no